Fall is here.
Yay!
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
In our last video, we were camping at Warren Dunes State Park, hiking sand dunes, and also dealing with some camping issues that threatened to derail our trip.
Oh, are you kidding me?
In this video, we are camping at PJ Hoffmaster State Park, and our trip ends pretty abruptly with some rain that causes us to rethink how we're doing things in the future.
What are we doing?
Hiking?
Heading to the beach, see if we can find the beach.
See if we can find it, yeah.
Okay. We've been to PJ Hoffmaster State Park a lot to hike, and we've been to the beach, but we've never camped here before.
Never camped here. We're in a different section of the park,
Yeah.
so I'm not really sure where we're going.
All right. See if we can get lost.
Yeah. Get lost.
Can't believe we're almost there.
Yeah, this is pretty close to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the trail, it's pretty easy trail. It's flat.
Yeah.
Starting to get to be loose sand, but it's still easy.
Right. And the campground is just right
Kind of around the bend a little
right
bit.
around the bend. It's really close.
Yeah.
So campers have a much shorter walk to the beach than if you park by the visitor center.
So we're scouting out locations to, maybe get a cool sunset shot or something. We'll see what happens. Uh-oh. Yeah, you got shoes on.
Yeah!
Kind of walking in the water down there. Did you get wet?
Yeah, a little bit.
With your hand on your heart, please tell me.
Big peaceful sunset, huh?
What's that?
Peaceful sunset.
Can't hear you.
Peaceful sunset.
Hi. Been trying to get a big long pano of everything. A long exposure pano.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll work. But depends on how easily everything stitches together.
Sure. Never know unless you try.
Right.
Taking some sunset photos.
Well, what's left of the sunset anyway?
Well, we were taking sunset photos,
Yeah.
and I think we got some really nice ones.
Hopefully we'll get some star shots too. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Right. This is amazing. This is Lake Michigan shoreline, right next to a campground, and we have the beach almost to ourselves.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, October 1st. So, pretty excited.
What were you asking me?
Are you glad that we actually came to take pictures and didn't just stay at the campsite and get lazy?
Uh-huh. Sorry, I didn't have the same effect. I tried, that was a reenactment. I tried to do it over and it just didn't have the same effect as it did the first time.
It's getting dark.
Yep. Stars are coming out.
You can still get the horizon.
Can you?
Cause I sure don't know. One piece in hand is a start, but
Some leaves on the trail. My favorite season.
no need to say how
All right, so we're at 23. Where are we going here?
Well, we started, our campsite's up here. We cut through and came down to 22 and just made our first marker to 23. We're going to go up to 25 come around to 24 to 27 to 28. We're going to walk along the beach and then go to 29 and back up to our campsite.
So there are 10 miles of hiking trails at PJ, or at Hoffmaster State Park.
Nope.
And we've been here hiking quite a few times. It's right on Lake Michigan, and it's, you know, just kind of quiet and pretty. So, but this is the first time we've ever camped here.
Right. It's a beautiful campground. It's nestled in a pine forest.
Yeah.
Which is just, I have a liking for pine forests. I just think they look really cool with the pine needles all over the ground, but you can see through the forest because it's just very clean looking, you know.
Right. The kind of trees that you can see the trunks going all the way up, and then its needles are up above instead of just being full down to the ground. That's the kind of that you like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's probably, I think, one of the prettiest campgrounds we've been to.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty full, but it's still quiet.
Yep.
And yeah, we got a campsite that said that there's trees that are blocking a lot of the site.
Yeah.
So that was perfect for us because we
we're
can
small.
get our small little rig in and it's not a big deal.
Right.
And then it's very private.
It is. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we'll have to make sure we show you what that looks like. But it's supposed to start raining at some point this weekend, so we're trying to make the most of the sunshine while it lasts and just have a nice time enjoying the park.
Yep.
And some of the fall color. I don't know if you can see some of the fall color is starting.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely some new fall color here, and things are starting to happen. So October is here, and so is fall.
October 2nd. And this is still, it's not really upper Michigan here, so the fall color is just starting.
Right.
This little guy scared me. I don't know what he is. He's not a garter snake.
No, it's kind of
Brownish, reddish. Check me out, please.
Apparently I have a bunch of worms on me. I don't see anything.
There were little green things that were hanging from you, and they were like, there's one here even. Let me show here. These little things.
It might be too close to focus. I don't know.
Let me get it off you.
I felt it hit my arm. I don't know where it went. Is this one here?
Yes. What the heck?
No, they're
You sure they're
falling
not
off
on me?
Yeah, I mean, I brushed one off, but that was it.
Okay. I'm just a little, I don't want a worm on me. Yeah, those things. That's what I'm walking through, not spider webs.
Yeah, they're little
Is that
worms.
a tent worm?
And it's too late in the year for those. Here's another one.
There's a whole bunch of them hanging here.
Yeah.
Gross. If you can see that, there's a whole bunch of them. Get to Lake Michigan.
Nice breeze. Cool myself off a little bit. It's October. It's in the low 70s. But I still sweat. I'm just that way. But there wasn't much of a breeze back there, but up here it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Looks like we get to climb a little sand dune up here.
I'm saying left.
Yeah, we're gonna go this way. You can ride your bikes down here.
But this is my favorite kind of dune because we're going down, but we're not coming back up.
Puzzle to lay, no need to say, how will I cope?
What's on the lunch menu?
Veggie wraps. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Veggie wraps, but we use almond flour tortillas, and they're really delicious.
Oh yeah, they're yummy. Yummy. You do have to. They come as in kind of a doughy state, so
Right.
you gotta heat them up and brown them just a tad.
Yeah, kind of like this.
kind of finishes cooking them.
Right, and they are delicious.
They're good, yeah. One of the things that we're trying to do is all this stuff we're doing, camping and getting out more, is we didn't want to eat normal camp food. We wanted to stick to our normal diet, which we're losing weight on and getting healthier with.
Right.
And so we eat a little different than most campers do.
We do. We do. It's not hot dogs and hamburgers here.
No, not at all. And so I think we'll have an upcoming video at some point where we focus on that and kind of show you what we've been doing.
Sure. Camp food that's healthy and easy. Some people say, oh, I love camp food. Sure, you know,
right.
But we love this food. I mean, this food is so good, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, we're having things like last night we had lasagna soup for dinner.
Right.
But it was easy.
It was easy.
It's amazing.
Right.
And again, we brought it vacuum sealed. It's already all made. All we have to do is heat it up.
Yep.
So super easy.
Yep. And we'll show you all that at some point.
Yeah.
In an upcoming video, not
Right.
necessarily this one.
Right. Well, let's take a look at our campsite
Yeah.
here.
Check out this pine forest we're in,
It's so
which
pretty.
was probably planted on purpose because they're all kind of in rows, but
Yeah.
it's just, I love the pine tree forest like this.
Yeah. So we have easy up canopy. And we've got, yeah, don't burn the tortillas. You have some lights to give us a little bit of light.
Yeah.
We've got all our cooking area out here, our kitchen's out here. We've got some easy comfy easy chairs here. There's our camper. Pretty nice campsite. We've got some space between campers. It's not totally like being out in the middle of a forest, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
For a campground,
And
there's a lot of buffer.
the pine needles keep all the dust down too. You don't track in
do.
quite as much dirt.
They do. Michigan state parks have a lot of dirt on the ground because they're well used. These sites are pretty full most of the summer, spring, summer, and fall.
Right.
So the grass can't grow, but here the pine needles do a good job of keeping the dust down.
Mm-hmm.
Roads leave something to be desired. We're at the visitor center.
Yes, we are.
Try to remember. I know we've been here before, but I can't remember what it's like inside.
I think there's some displays on local animals and plants and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Probably a little bit of history on the park and who PJ Hoffmaster was, or who the
Genevieve Gillette.
Genevieve Gillette is. Yeah.
All right.
Or
Well,
was.
let's find out.
With your heart on your sleeve, it's a fine line between letting go and losing control. So I take my love and hide it away from me. Puzzle to lay.
Hey everyone, Future Michelle here. Wanted to interrupt our video real quick to share some real life stuff with you. Dennis is inside furiously editing away on this week's video, which we're going to release tomorrow. So I wanted to, while he's editing the video, we realized that our last camping trip ended pretty abruptly, and we did not do a good job of filming the end of our trip. So I wanted to share a little bit about what happened and also some lessons that we learned from that experience. So one of the things that reminded me of this is I create a travel journal that has information about all of our camping trips. in it. I've got, you know, campground maps, and I've got different experiences that we've been through, and some pictures, and some of the sites that we really liked. And if any of you are planners like I am, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to show you more of our travel journal and how I created that, and how you maybe could do that with some of your trips. It's sort of a keepsake, but it's also a way for us to be able to record things that we're learning on our adventures, modifications that we want to make to our camper, and things that we need to do differently on future trips to make this whole journey more enjoyable. So on our PJ Hoffmaster, you can see here, I always have takeaways that I learn from our trips. And one of the big takeaways that we had with this trip was, if you see your neighbors who look like they've been camping before, packing up all of their stuff the night before, like on a Saturday night when most people would probably leave on a Sunday, take heed. We knew that rain was forecast for the next day, but we saw them putting their campsites, their outdoor campsite stuff away and kind of stowing it so it wouldn't get wet in the rain. But we knew that we wanted to be able to get up in the morning and make our coffee, which we were doing on a camp stove at the time. And we didn't want to do that without the cover of the canopy. So we left that up. And in the morning, we woke up and it was pouring down rain, which is part of why we didn't capture it on film. I wish we had. It would have been super comical. We decided, even though we really love our morning coffee, we decided to forego the coffee. Hoffmaster State Park is only about an hour away from our house. So instead, we decided to quickly get up, take down all of our canopy and all of our outdoor gear in the pouring down rain, and just shove it all in the camper, in the car, and book it home. So some lessons we learned from that, my wiser self here can now tell you. One is, if you see all your neighbors packing up their gear outside the night before, you may want to take heed and do the same thing. Anything that you don't need outside to get that could be packed up, pre-packed, I would highly recommend doing, because then you'll have way less wet stuff that you're coming home with. The next thing is, take a really close look at the weather forecast, because we ended up packing everything up in the main part of the downpour. And if we had only waited another hour or two, we could have packed up when it wasn't quite as rainy. So that's lesson 2. And the third thing that we learned from that is to bring a coffee maker with us instead of relying on our camp stove and our pour-over technique for making our coffee in the morning. So those were the 3 lessons that we learned from this trip. Since then, we've started bringing our coffee pot with us, and that has been a wonderful upgrade. Everything that you do when you're tiny camping needs to be weighed on the balance of, is this going to make the trip easier? But we're bringing something extra along with us, and we don't have a lot of space. So just the fact that we're bringing something extra with us actually make it harder. Just have to kind of weigh that balance. The coffee pot coming with us has been amazing, because then we don't have to deal with our camp stove in the morning. We can have everything all ready to go and just push a button in the morning and bam, have our pot of coffee. So anyway, I just wanted to share, and in the back of this, I also have just blank paper so I can take notes as we're learning things and remember some of these lessons we're learning and some of these things that we want to do to change things up to make this as comfortable as possible. And again, let me know if you've learned any lessons while you're camping that either help you when the rain comes or that just help to make your camping experience a little bit more comfortable. We would love to hear it. So make sure you leave some comments so that we can all learn from each other's mistakes and help each other to have even more fun on the road spending time together.
But I'm hardly awake.
Making mistakes is part of being human. We are flawed beings in a broken world. While Michelle and I don't try to live in the past, we do try to learn from it. Patience, preparedness, and perseverance are things that we try to exude. Although Michelle said our packing in the rain was comical, I believe I failed at the first two. We persevered, but I wasn't prepared or patient. We'll learn from our mistakes, although we'll make them again, I'm sure. But we'll learn again and again until it finally sticks. Maybe that's the real perseverance. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video, as we try camping in cold weather for the first time. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go out and live your best life, one adventure at a time.